Could the clerk call the roll, please?
Harper. Here. Kurtz. Here. Petrie.
Here.
Schrader. Esri.
Here.
Bergson.
Here.
Langenheim.
Here.
Quorum is present.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. Second.
Any comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Done. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Anybody got any comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Approved. Is there any public participation? That little girl back there want to say anything? Doesn't seem to be any public participation. Do we have any communications? We're incommunicado.
Halfway home.
Not quite, not quite. For information only, county planning contract status update. Here it comes.
In your packet, starting on page 4, can everyone hear me? Can you hear me?
Pull it closer to you.
Gotcha. All
All
right.
the way up.
All right, in your packets on page 4, I've provided a status update for how we're doing in terms of completing the county planning contract that goes through December 31st of this year. We have 6 basic line items, with the first one being LRMP implementation. And we are about 47% of the way through that. We redirected some of the LRMP tasks to give some planning hours to the village of Gifford post-disaster, and also to create the local match requirement for the Champaign County Hazard Mitigation Plan that was awarded to us in April. And so we have 100 hours and then 260 hours that came out of LRMP and went into those 2 things. We haven't started work on that yet. The hazard mitigation plan will start this month. And the Gifford hours, we have 100 hours taken from the LRMP, but we also have another set that's 50 hours under planning services requests. So we have used 43 of the 50, and we have yet to touch the 100 hours toward Gifford after that. Recycling events coordination, we've had 1 event this year, and we expect to have another one probably around October, just like the last few years. So Susan Monte's been working with those hours, and that's going just fine. She's got a well-oiled machine going. Administration, the hours are spent. We do what we can to keep things on time, on budget, and so with that, we have about 38% of the contract complete. I believe we would have had more done if we had not moved hours to Gifford and hazard mitigation, but that just puts things off a little bit for those projects that we had to wait for. And I am confident that we will get this done and done well by the end of the year.
I have a couple of information questions.
Sure.
Do you anticipate to be using up all the hours that we shifted over for Gifford by the end of the year?
I think so, because we have an emergency CDAP, Community Development Assistant Program application that I'm writing right now that's going to probably take about 20 hours. And then we also intend to do an income survey to see if the village now qualifies for regular CDAP funding in future years. Census-based, pre-disaster, Gifford did not qualify for CDAP funding, but now that the population is in transition and things have changed quite a bit, we're hoping that they can qualify for that money now, because it'd be a big help for some projects they have.
Okay.
And that income survey is going to take a while.
Okay, I understand. And you sort of answered my second question, and that is, with the work you're going to be doing with Gifford that you just described, you still think you will complete the rest of the list of items that were scheduled for 2014 by the end of the year?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Motion, do we make a motion to approve and then get it on the floor? My motion to approve the FY 2015 county planning contract proposal. Patsy.
This is just for information only tonight, to my understanding. I don't know if it's,
Oh, okay. Oh, it's got, no, 60-day, it has a
Correct.
60-day review. So we'll move it out of here to 60-day review if we approve it. Is that? Received and placed on file. Okay. Got it. I just wanted to bypass the 60 days with that. We can move things up, a little bit of efficiency in government's always nice.
all right. We have the typical setup for the county planning contract, as we've seen in previous years. I have added a couple new line items this year. We have the LRMP implementation, which is always there on top of page 8 of your packet. And we have reduced that somewhat from prior years, down to about 785 hours, because I'm recommending that we give some additional assistance to Gifford, and also to Wilbur Heights, and also to the Dobbins Downs subdivision in the upcoming year. So reduced hours for LRMP implementation. The next item is 100 hours more for assistance to Gifford in the next fiscal year. 80 more hours for Wilbur Heights, and then the addition of Dobbins Downs. Mr. Lloyd Carter called me months ago asking if we could also work in Dobbins Downs like we're working in Wilbur Heights, to see if we can figure out some issues there and how we might move forward. So the Wilbur Heights work, I don't think is going to be a lot. It would mostly be focused on Dobbins Downs for that 80 hours. Recycling events coordination continues at 150 hours. We are anticipating doing the same events, and Susan's always looking for new ways for the county to be able to provide services and look for grants and things like that that will help that kind of effort. General planning services request, I have 100 hours. It's not allocated to anything at this time. Last year, we had already given it to Wilbur Heights by this time, pretty much. So it's something that's open for any county department or ELUC or county board to use as they see fit. 25 hours under administration, and then we have the typical non-staff expenses that have stayed pretty much the same.
Okay. Do we have a motion to receive and place on file? I guess we, second? Any comments?
I have some questions.
Yes.
Okay. On page 8, I want to focus on the assistance to Gifford and assistance to Wilbur Heights, and this is grant research. Is any of this grant research, can any of this grant research monies come from what's allocated to the county from the East Central Economic, I can't never remember all that, Economic Development?
The East Central Illinois Economic Development District lost its federal grant. And it's not defunct, but it's not functioning enough to give, there's no funding behind it. And so
Oh,
those hours are gone.
Any further comments? Go ahead.
Is there any progress on the drainage issue at Wilbur Heights or with the railroad or?
Burns Clancy, the contracted engineer, they have been getting information from a variety of the landowners and businesses up there, because it turns out they found basically an 8-foot drainage system, box culvert. I'm sorry, I'm not an engineer, but they found this really long, wonderful thing that might actually drain all of Wilbur Heights. So it's something that they're verifying by going to these different landowners and seeing, and then after they verify that it's actually there, they have to also determine whether it's working. And I don't know if that would fall within the scope of what we asked them to do. They haven't said anything to the contrary, but it could be a pretty darn big job. But it's something that basically, it was originally designed, I believe, to drain out Marketplace Mall in that area. And it goes down to, I think, the Super Value site. And so it's built, it's just a question of, is it cleaned out enough and does it function? Yes, sir.
Any further comments?
Susan, an item that I would like us to get out for discussion, not this time, but the next time this comes before us, to add to the work plan, is coordinating the section 4.15 of the LRMP with our zoning ordinance.
I would love to see that considered and worked through and brought to fruition.
Well, so, and we did not talk about this ahead of time, so this is not something we planned out. And then the next is, as I'm reading page 15, last sentence, significance. The way I read this sentence, it says, this amendment seeks to better align the policies in the LRMP with the county ordinances. I'm assuming that what we tried to do was align the county ordinances with the LRMP.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, any further? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, monthly reports.
The April monthly report is attached with the agenda.
Motion to place on file?
Okay, any comments? Go ahead, Patsy.
As I'm reading the monthly report and looking at the fees that are generated for the services provided by the Planning and Zoning Department, if I'm remembering correctly, John, those fees go into the general fund. Is that accurate? So I would like to have on an upcoming agenda a discussion of holding back a percentage of those fees for the purpose of planning and zoning to use for professional development, professional education. And
Are you still, oh, go ahead. You
I
still have
have
the
a-
floor. Go ahead.
I have one more that, just sort of an explanation aspect. The prime farmland, oh, here we go. On page 19, John has now provided a nice matrix that lets us know conversion of prime farmland, which, again, I appreciate that being provided. I'm wondering if it would be possible to add just an explanatory note as to how this was approved, under what auspices of the zoning ordinance, when you list these.
Okay, well, that's what I try to do with the current format. So zoning cases, I could add something about zoning cases are approved by the Zoning Board of Appeals, subdivision plat approvals. In the county jurisdiction, they're approved by the county board.
Okay, that would be great, just. so
Zoning
when
use
people look at
permits
it,
are
yeah.
approved by the zoning administrator.
It's an
Okay.
information
All right.
situation. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yes, pass.
There's no other business. We need a motion to cancel next month's meeting. As can plainly be seen from this meeting, we have little to do, and there is less to do next month.
So moved.
Okay, any discussion?
Well, I have a logistic question. We are supposed to be approving the contract with RPC in the August meeting. And if we don't have a July meeting, when will we have a chance to have any kind of robust conversation about these items?
What's the pleasure of the committee on
The
that?
rest of them, people.
Any further comments?
I guess I'd think we could, kind of like Al said, I would hope we could hash it out at the August if there's a lot to hash out.
Well, I am going to take the bull by the horns and call a vote on this. All in favor of canceling this meeting, say aye. Aye. Opposed? It's so done. Now we'll dig ourselves out of the hole we put ourselves in later on.
Well, we'll probably put a little more time in probably in August than we have tonight.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Is there anything to be placed on the consent agenda? I think not. Okay, I have a motion to adjournment. All in favor? All right. Shall we enter this meeting in the sweepstakes for the shortest meeting of the year?